So, like I said, we just don't delete text messages because we like to be able to go back and review things. Especially, we send each other pictures of the dogs and stuff. So, for even my messages to be deleted, be different just deleting the coworkers stuff. But I send really cool pictures of the dogs when they're passed out on the bed and stuff. She doesn't know how to download them and save them to her phone. She wouldn't delete them. So that's a little bit suspicious. You know, I'll just chalk it up to paranoia, like the doctors told me to. Like I said, I was concerned that day. I didn't feel safe getting out of my vehicle to approach the ambulance to make sure she was okay. That's not paranoia. Normally, paramedics and law enforcement ask questions at the hospital in front of witnesses, as they're supposed to. Apparently not. Witnessing her toss a pair of panties in shame is another indicator. But I could be wrong. Huge thanks to those doctors and lawyers and judges and all that fun stuff. Get ready to cook them some more chicken. Do you have that last set of text messages I sent you?
What?
Do you have that last set of text messages I sent you?
No. I don't. I don't keep text messages.
Oh.
Why, were you looking for something specific?
No, I was going to ask you about something I had sent you. I figure normally you kept them.
No. I keep all that shit.
Well, I send you some pretty cool pictures of the dogs.
Well,
I could understand deleting some of the coworkers' ones.
well, I just don't see no reason keeping that kind of shit. Once it's said, you move on to the next what's said.
I just keep text messages so I can go back and, remember we talked about this, or...
Okay. Will you stay home?
News to me. Any other time you've handed me your phone and I've had to look through it for something, the text messages have been there. I just found what you said odd. Look at my phone, check this out. I don't know. So I guess I should go back to the conversion reparative therapy and start naming the names of the people who caused me to suffocate during their, disgusting ordeals. Apparently that's not important compared to other stuff I've been talking about. Tony and Charlotte Wentz and Wendell Mason starting the sick shit. Donald starting the porn with that side of member of the family. And then it just progressively getting worse. It's called First Amendment free speech. It's what I go through on the daily. I'm allowed to talk about it. It helps me. And it really was news to me, her saying she doesn't keep text messages. Any other time I've had to look at her telephone to fix this, why are 99 tabs open? And the text messages have always been there. It's news to me that she deletes them. I bought the phone, I help program electronics, I fix it when it needs fixed. It's news to me that the messages get deleted. Oh well. Another reason it's news to me is because she likes to throw it in my face when somebody sends something to her, like Bonnie or Shell. Or if I say something and then it's not right later on, she's like, see? This is what you said in the text message. Oh, yeah, you're right. So her deleting them as they... Okay. I'll remember that from now on, before I make statements. I read the text message the night it came in. Something about her 50-year-old virgin pussy. And her friend being worried about me hurting her. Oh well. So shall I talk more about the conversion reparative therapy and being mashed like a potato and her parents claiming they could get demons out of people? It's true. Oh well. I'm sure she's ready to evict me as well, but oh well. They don't want the story getting out. Access to internet and such. So shall I talk about Brother Music, or Brother Underwood, or Ruggles Campground and what happened there, or the Scioto Camp, Scioto County Camp, or Mason County Camp, or... Smelling new shoes. Smell like Nans. Just like the other night, after that 50-year-old pussy message came through, I felt somebody punch my shoulder. But I guess that was just a delusion, too. Just like I felt somebody punch my ribs repeatedly. Denise, whatever her last name is, was Shakely. Oh well. So let me tell you about being threatened by Springdale PD and her friend. Oh well. Oh well. I do know the cop that showed up that day that I dialed 911 because she fell after her surgery was a larger African American man. And I'm just like, man, that dude looks like Martinet. Commodore. Martinet Commodore. Rachel Weisz's baby daddy. Rachel Weisz with Kelly Clark and Mr. Underwood. The drugs out of their goddamn department. Proof? Well, Kim Razor tried to limit my word, didn't she? Not going to work too well with other people coming forward. Let me tell you more about Kim Razor when Bob Tribby was jailer. Donald represented the misdemeanor, allegations. If I understand their dialogue correctly. As if I was going to hurt her. After her surgery, I was like, I don't have the strength to transport you, and if you fall right post surgery, you're going to hurt yourself. So stand up on the edge of the bed, leaned against me. Here's a portable toilet, a bedpan, sponge bathed. You should not be stepping over the shower, the bathtub thing. There are no support things in there. Here's a shower chair that we used with Nan. Sit in the living room and I'll sponge bathe you. It doesn't bother me. I did the best I could with a craniotomy patient, especially with the University of Cincinnati sending them home with no goddamn home health services established. Now, how sick is that? UC let her go home on the third day. They were going to let her go on the second day. I said, I'm not taking her home in this shape. She just had a 4 by 5 centimeter tumor removed from the right side of her brain. I mean, honestly, what the fuck? And then they sent us discharged just with no home health services established. I called them the third time, and berated them. I said, what in the fuck is your all's problem? This is fucking complete medical negligence. Call some fucking home health service and get them out here now. After the third fucking phone call, they finally did it. After the third fucking phone call, they finally set up home health services to come out. The only thing I told them not to do was send out the home health aide person that would help her bathe, because I was able to do that. But rehab, social work, all that other shit, of course send them. I told the home health bathing person, I'm like, please don't just like say no completely. Call me every couple of days or whatever, because, you know, I might not be able to help her one day. So they kept that up, calling to check in for a couple of weeks until she was better and able to get in and out of the shower. And then I'm like, now you don't have to worry about it. Let me tell you about when I had my brain injury. They told me to walk it off. You see the scar and the skull fracture. I was told to walk it off. And I did. Sounds like somebody's drag racing. No, it's a bike on the interstate, I think. I think I'll go out walking again today. Like I said, I'm not trying to start trouble. I just found the conversations and what I witnessed very odd. Excuse me. And it is news to me that she deletes her text messages. Because normally she likes to throw it in my face. See, you did say this in a text message. Now you're saying something else. Whatever. I read the message the night it came in. Something about her 50-year-old virgin pussy, and I thought, that's sickening. Not to mention your coworker discussing my mental health. What have you been telling them, and why in the hell is she even talking about it? I have Tourette's syndrome. My apologies if you all overhear me sometimes on the conferences and stuff. It's called Tourette's syndrome. Tourette's syndrome encompasses physical tics as well as auditory. It just depends case to case. I didn't find that comment about her virginity and her vagina very appropriate. So watch me tag that one too. Then later on, you know, she said she's afraid of you. That's news to me too. Let me tell you about, you know, her throwing those panties away and mysteriously having some kind of infection. I had that happen when Matt Lewis raped me in emergency medical services. Fungal type infection, so bad that this nail turned black. this one turned white, and this one completely came off. Oh well. So let me tell you about Matt and Holly Lewis. Him with Orangeburg Volunteer Fire Department. It felt like he was cutting it off left to right that night. And Holly works for a nursing home, if I'm not mistaken. So isn't that convenient? Phil Day's jurisdiction. Phil Day's district, Sheriff Boggs' jurisdiction. Now are you surprised they convinced me pain management was being a drug addict? I can't exactly strap weights to my head and fix that skull fracture and the nerve damage it did to my brain, can I? Sick pieces of shit. So as I said, let me tell you about Dr. Berger, Thomas Berger, Christ Hospital, Mayfield Spine Clinic, touching my ass inappropriately that day when he pushed me down so that I could touch my toes. Yeah, I kept my mouth shut about a lot. I let a hell of a lot slide. It's not going to be that way anymore. So let me tell you about being sexually assaulted repeatedly, starting with Lisa Williams and her goddamn badge and stupidity with drug sales and sex sales. And then, law enforcement continually covering it. I don't feel persecuted by it. It's expected, isn't it? So let me tell you about the lawyers and the whores, the heroin, the meth, the marijuana, and the date rape drugs. Since none of them want to take a case like they're supposed to, legally required to, as long as they practice in a field close enough to it, they're legally required to take a case. Or is Blake Wright going to try to cling on as long as he can? Here are his nudes. Oh, Mr. Kipley. I think he's up and coming. As a good guy, possibly. Since my mother wanted to point out my mental health while refusing to acknowledge me being raped, stating men don't get raped, just like Patrick Boggs' piece of shit department. Men don't get raped. Well, let me just tell you about David Keith, Christy, Trevor, Lacey, my sister, Amy, Brandy, John, Donna, Stephen, Sherry, Bud and Judy, Dale, Huck, Vicky and Tammy, or Karen and Tammy. Tell you about Queen Ecstasy, Murder View, and her family robbing us blind. Yes, I have a mental health problem. I have mental health issues. Mood swings, sometimes expressed as rage, because people can't be mature enough to discuss a man that lets their nails grow and their hair grow and dresses in women's clothing sometimes. That's called dissociative identity disorder. I had to do it to survive among perverts always wanting to diddle little boys. And record it. And distribute it. I believe what society calls it is big legal. So, like I said, while they were poisoning me, bludgeoning me, all that other fun stuff, I was told I was a peasant, and peasants did not deserve health care. After this happened, and it was open, they would spray industrial strength pyrethrins in the milk barn, where I would have to be working, slave trading, and human trafficking. Forced labor. Food and shelter from my own parents. That's called forced labor, human trafficking. I would choke half to death on that fucking disgusting neurotoxic shit. We can't afford your albuterol. Shell needs her band jacket and her new French horn, and they couldn't afford me. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but that's pretty fucking criminal. So, shall I tell you about Devin Hull's treasure trail or Ryan Hull's nuts? Or shall I tell you about Patrick's body? Or shall I tell you about some of the Brown County cops, or some of the Fayette County cops, or some of the Hamilton County deputies? In 35 states, including Ohio and Kentucky, law enforcement officials are allowed to rape the people they detain. People called me crazy when I started talking about that story. The New York Post, ever read it? Well, there you go, since you don't believe me. They're not allowed to rape children. They can pretend when it leaves the permanent injury, changes the game. Especially when dumbasses like comprehend falsified documents that are then entered into court. So, Bobby Gollenstein's penis and 20 years of circuit and district court, having to review them? What fun. Or shall we ask Karen about how Kay had to go pick him up at night? Oh well. Karen Wood. Bye, Felicia. And Nick. Sorry, Karen. And Taylor. And Donald. Now it's going to be Don't Be a Donna. Donna Kay, Donna Sue, Officer Donahue. Donna Kay Osborne, Donna Sue Curtis, and Officer Donahue. You all can figure it out when you pull the records. Like I said, when Dad died and I had to settle this estate, Donald said, now sign your name and finish it with, oh, yes, ADM, administrator of an estate that I'm not executor over. I've been married before. Not that you ever met them. And then one of the ladies in the courthouse came to open the door, the sealed record door. Donald just yanked it and pulled it open. Follow me. Good to see you again, Kirk. Oh well. I hate guns. That firearms prohibition was the stupidest thing ever. Nothing but a bunch of fucking mental health bullshit covers, so go right ahead. Limit my ability to live anywhere because my family like guns. Oh well. So let me tell you more about Kim Razor and her husband, Occam. Sevier County, huh? I already showed you the photos of our Sevier County. So yes, cases galore worth a fucking fortune, or so I've been told. But my family just wants to take the story and throw me in a psychiatric facility. Well, I can bleed out in seconds. Have fun. Making more off of me yet again. You had a chance to look over that psychiatric nursing home paperwork yet? Yeah, I read over it. No internet, no television, no outside communication. I read over it. That's why I revoked medical POA publicly. Well, you can ask her, my cousin. I'd be sitting there next to her in the living room, pre-craniotomy, silently screaming, "What in the hell's wrong now?" You need to have another MRI or something. They didn't catch the tumor in 2019. That's a lawsuit. I can see it on the imaging of 2019. If I can fucking see it. As a non-radiologist. Now it in what, 2022? Or whatever it was. Yeah. Dementia. Thanks a lot again, Kim Razor. Looking at it and my fucking God. How in the hell did they miss that? And now look how fucking large it is. And no vision returned in that eye. I told her, I was like, if it'd been me, I would have tried radiation first. But that's just my opinion. They're not sensory hallucinations, they're flashbacks to men putting their hand behind my head and when I was younger and in my adult life. Sometimes it was consensual, other times it wasn't. In adult life. Younger, you can't consent. Get your teeth off it! And then they kick my fucking jaw shut. You can ask Tiffany Prince about it happening to her. And I noticed after I talked about that story, they arrested her again. Like I said, I used to have this cool program on my computer that would trace the IP address of who was accessing my shit. Yes, take that file, you fucking dumbass. And then when your computer explodes, cry about it. Nowadays, I barely can navigate the latest version of Microsoft Office. Thanks again for the psych meds because you all refuse to believe the truth. Oh well. Pretty sure Kim Razor could at least get kicked off the bench, if not disbarred, but I'm no judge. Let me tell you also how Carrie Cox tried to convince me that doesn't give you the right to assault people. And it's like, are you talking to my dead father? Or what in the fuck are you talking about? I've been raped, beaten, bludgeoned, poisoned by the woman you claim, my mother, you claim has battered woman syndrome. You people are sick. because you don't take the time to hear my side of the story. Mental illness, we don't have to read you your rights. Well, I hope you all enjoy the new civil rights violations in that fucking huge-ass lawsuit. Let me tell you about D. Hull's treasure trail, dark hair, and Ryan Hull's fucking crotch, lighter. Oh well. Oh well. I've had it up to here with the medical gaslighting and law enforcement pretending they're above the law. So like I said, Michelle Crawford and Julie Allen, Jacob and Corey Henderson's mother, in the downtown bars, Erica Michelle accepting resources for Kentuckians for medicinal marijuana from Foxwood, Wood, and Estill, child porn producing, peddling pieces of shit, and then donating resources to Kim Razor's campaign. Time is an important resource, thus the 72-hour psych hold paperwork. So I'm pretty sure that encompasses several things in judicial misconduct. But oh well, right? Oh well. So if you all need a copy of this, just ask. You send any complaints, there's a form you have to print and fill out. And then there's their place in Frankfort. But then again, apparently they don't keep accurate records. Been dealing with them for a while, too. Oh, I can feel it now. You're not pulling your weight. It's not feeling persecuted, as in schizophrenia. I wish it were. I truly do, because then the meds would work the way they're supposed to. No, my family has always made me feel guilty for food.